It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watch, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
And I'm Neil. Last night we watched the real episode 5 of The Bachelor season 19. The show aired on Monday, February 2nd, 2015. Here's what we thought about it. Since Nikki went home last week and Ashley S. went home, that we had no more unknowns.
Ha! Boy, were you wrong.
See, and then Kelsey comes in and just totally junks up my streak.
You know, and I liked her. I liked her for so long. And then all of a sudden, who is this girl?
For the previous 4 weeks, I was content and I was comfortable with the knowledge that Ashley S. was the craziest woman in the house. This week definitely calls that into question. You know, we had a little bit of movement in the heifer breakdown for week 5.
Oh, we did. Oh, lay it on me.
Not just Kelsey, because, you know, just because of her bullshit, she got knocked down a peg back to unknown. We had to reinstate the unknown category. Megan dropped down a peg. She got demoted to girl because, note to Megan, I didn't get 2 good minutes into the show before I demoted you back down to girl.
Right?
Okay? It was bad enough that you thought Santa Fe was a beach resort town.
Oh, Lord.
But the absolute last straw was thinking that your flight to Santa Fe, New Mexico qualified as international travel.
The whole thing with the sombrero and I'm just thinking, girl, please, this is just too ridiculous.
We start out with the one-on-one with Carly.
Oh, wow.
And the date card said, let's come together. Now, given the previews that I saw last week, first thing that popped into my head was, can they actually show that on network television?
This date was 102 on the awkward meter.
They ended up having a session with a love and intimacy mentor, which I thought was good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I knew what this was going to be about, but really, she even surprised me.
I could so totally do that. The sage burning around my face. And
sure, I'm all
go
about
through the
it.
exercises and the touching and
the breathing and yeah.
I would need a massage first. I couldn't just come straight from the hotel or straight from the airport and jump into this.
I know.
See?
Well, and the thing is that this was their first date.
Yeah.
And I agree with Chris when he was saying, you know, this is like 7th date material. This is not something you just jump in and do.
No. But
yeah.
Of course, then we find out that Carly has physical intimacy issues, which starts to make everything make sense. Because the only reason that the producers would actually set up a date like this is to strike a balance between the drinking and all the kissing. And, you know, they want to get a little bit conservative and say, oh, no, it's not all about that.
Oh, my gosh.
This was just wrong, okay? Because they knew that she had these issues going in.
I know.
And they exploited it, and they should be ashamed of themselves. I'm just saying.
Brace yourself, my friend. But I sort of agree with you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Because I love the date from the perspective of just the intimacy and the vulnerability of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were really able to open up and get to some of the deep stuff, but this was such a big deal for her.
This is not the venue. This is not the environment to have this deep of a date.
National TV on your first date with a person to
with
be
11 other heifers waiting for you back at the house. See, that's the problem.
I know. It just, it was off the charts awkward.
I'm going to get bonded and really close to you, but I got 10 other bitches waiting for me back at the Pizzad.
Exactly.
So, see, wrong on so many levels. But I may have to go back to New Mexico.
I know, seriously. Like, I want to go, for all the other stuff, too.
No, I just need to see her.
The balloons and all that stuff. But, I'd like to see her.
I just need to see her.
It's pretty cool.
And just say, and try that out.
Yeah.
But I was a little concerned because while they were going through the introductions and everybody was meeting everybody, here come the clouds forming, and then you hear the thunder strikes off in the distance, which in our history has always been a foreshadower of evil.
Exactly.
Then we have the group date. We had Jade, Caitlin, Whitney, Mackenzie, Megan, Becca, Samantha, Ashley, I, and Kelsey. And the date card read, I'm rapidly falling in love. So Kelsey once again gives us a quick dose of stink face. And then we find out that it's a whitewater rafting date.
Yes.
Not too much happened during this date. It wasn't that interesting, except for the fact that Jade fell out the boat.
Oh my gosh. When she went overboard, it was terrifying. I thought, oh Lord, somebody grab her quick.
Yeah, but, we didn't hear anything about it after the fact, so I knew she was going to be okay. We just find out that the child is a number 2 pencil and has difficulty with blood circulation because she needs a sandwich.
Yeah, she could use a sandwich.
She's a woman, but she needs a sandwich.
Yeah. And the girls were hating on her like she was making this up, which totally drove me crazy because I'm thinking, this is a medical condition. You're going to begrudge the girl turning blue and Chris trying to help her out because he could obviously see that something was wrong.
They finished with the whitewater rafting thing. Okay, Jade is, I guess, warm again or whatever. Yes. Farmer has a visitor at the hotel.
He sure does.
It's Jordan, who was eliminated in week 2. Now, according to her story, she drove from Colorado to the hotel or the hacienda or wherever they are to file an appeal to get back in on the show.
Yeah.
I took this as an insult for many reasons.
Okay.
First of all, I said with Kimberly, there should not be an appeals process because of this exact thing.
And I gotta tell you, at that time, I was on Team Kimberly. Now that this has happened a second time, I'm not feeling it. And I'm kind of on board with you. It's like, no, you don't get to come back and plead your case. Then everybody's just going to come back.
You come around eventually. And you're always welcome. I'm just letting you know that.
Thank you, my friend.
So that's the first thing. Even if I were to accept her story about her getting all the way home and then driving all the way down from Colorado to Santa Fe, New Mexico to see Farmer, how did she know where they were going to be?
Oh, yeah. Well, she had to call somebody and ask them.
You think they would just tell? No, they wanted her there.
Yeah.
They wanted her there. Finally, it's bad enough that they rolled up 30 heifers into the mansion this year.
Right? There's an overload of women, or girls, we should say.
Right. Now, they're clearly trying to establish a recycling protocol.
It's just not working.
Does the heifer go into the black bin or into the blue bin?
It's got to be in the black.
Yeah, always, always, always in the black.
Yes, and I'm on board with you with this. It's too ridiculous.
So Jordan comes in and she manages to convince Farmer to let her back into the stable.
And I get why he did it, right? He wanted to kind of give her a chance and he felt bad. And I'm sure it was hard for him in that moment to say, no, I really think you should go home. So he gave her a shot.
No, because the producers told him that he needed to do it.
I choose to believe that he gave her a shot.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
Thank you.
You stick to your guns.
I will.
So he comes out to the parade of heifers and informs them there's a new filly in the stable.
Yeah, it's an old filly that's been recycled.
It's old recycled filly.
Exactly.
Note to Kelsey, in order for you to question a relationship you have with a man, you have to have that relationship with that man.
I know. Her whole diatribe was just completely delusional.
Ridiculous. She just got through complaining that she hadn't had a one-on-one date yet.
And then she's calling it a relationship.
Yeah. Come on now. We've been down this road. Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
We already went through this with Marcus, and we called him a whole fool for months.
Yeah.
Caitlin handled it correctly. She didn't want to talk about Jordan. She wanted to talk about her and Farmer.
Yeah. Exactly. I liked that.
That was good. Even the way Becca handled it, because he asked her how she felt about it. And she said, well, I was happy to see her and all this stuff. But then I started to think. And it's like, okay, fine. That's cool. You're above the fray.
Exactly.
You're above the fray. Ashley I?
Oh, Ashley I is just too immature to get it. I mean, the whole thing was just crazy. But I gotta say, I was really impressed with Whitney for sticking to her guns and telling Ashley I what a crazy person she sounded like and calling her out as a mean girl, because she is.
Because Whitney's a woman.
And Ashley's a girl.
Fortunately and mercifully, Chris sent her home anyway because, the producers got what they wanted. They just threw all the heifers into turmoil, and that was the goal.
And I choose to believe that Chris came to his senses and said, it took me a minute, but I figured it out. I really need to let you go and send you home.
I will not take your Kool-Aid away from you.
Thank you. There's been enough that's been taken away.
So Whitney got the rose, which I was cool with.
And I was so glad about that.
And Ashley I kind of cemented her girl status by thinking Whitney wasn't competition.
Oh, Lord, right? How dumb.
Obviously, she didn't go to the wedding.
I mean, how dumb can you be, though, to look at Whitney and see the connection she has with Chris and see how they interact with each other and think that she's not competition?
Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we dig too deep into the one-on-one with Britt,
yeah,
I have a PSA that I have to make.
Okay.
First of all and foremost, the issue of personal hygiene is a personal matter. People have allergies, they have sensitivities, there's body chemistries to consider, which all may or may not contribute to a person's hygienic regimen. Let's not beat around the bush figuratively and literally. Speaking for myself, okay, and only for myself. If I'm going to invite you to dinner, I'm going to set the table.
Exactly.
It won't be china and crystal, but every utensil and accessory will be clean.
Exactly. And here's my thing. Personal hygiene is just a non-negotiable. I don't want to be around someone who stinks and has not taken a shower 4 days.
If you invite me to dinner, and I love being invited to dinner, by the way, I can only expect that you will extend the same hospitality to me that I extend to you.
Exactly.
It's just about reciprocation.
It is. And you want to present yourself as being clean, neat, tidy, and coiffed. Let's just leave it at that.
All we're seeing is an image on a TV screen. We don't know what these folks are inhaling.
No, we don't.
All that we know is that these people have not seen her take a shower. And I'm presuming neither a bath.
No.
But that does not necessarily mean that she is not a clean person.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Well, once again, it could be a different approach. There could be hydrophobia that's playing a role. There could be sensitivities to certain soaps and certain cleaning products.
I get it, but you bring your own soap in that case. I mean, you can't
and we don't
live
know that she's
with
not.
25 women and not take a shower. That's disgusting.
Right, but here's the thing. If she was that funky for as long as they've spent in proximity to each other, one person shouldn't have been able to tell all of the others that this is something that she doesn't do, because they would have noticed.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I just think it's gross.
Okay, once again, and I'm keeping it open for alternative approaches.
Yeah.
That accomplish the same thing, but just use different mechanisms.
Yeah, like the Rock deodorant or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
I get it. But you still gotta wash the stank off.
The date card says, sky's the limit. And we find out she's afraid of heights.
No, not just afraid. She's terrified.
Terrified, petrified, peeing her pants.
Hyperventilating, the whole bit.
Potentially another bonding date, although this one is a lot more subtle.
If that really truly were this phobia that she needed help to overcome. And I'm just calling bullshit on this.
I don't necessarily know.
Here's why I'm calling it. Because phobias are phobias. You don't have like an off switch. If you're afraid of something, you're afraid of it. And no matter how it's packaged, you're going to be terrified.
Okay, stop it. And here's why I'm saying stop it. Because last season on The Bachelor, when Christy and Juan Pablo had the bungee jump date off Suicide Bridge, I believe you said that your big problem was the bungee jumping. However, you jump out of a plane and skydive in a second.
Yes, but here's the thing. If you're afraid of heights, it doesn't matter if you're diving off of a bridge or you're going up in a hot air balloon. You're high, and you would still be terrified. She didn't look terrified in the least bit. She wasn't even scared. She didn't even say anything about it. She was just hugging and kissing and looking at him and looking out over the abyss of tall, cliffs and like valleys. She was just looking at it like it was, a piece of cake. I'm calling bullshit.
Okay. And I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because it's a hot air balloon. There's the huge basket that they're in.
Yeah. If you're up high, you're up high. And if you're afraid of that, it doesn't matter what package it's in.
Note to Carly, I feel you, sister.
Right.
4:30 in the morning and Farmer's creeping in on Britt with the cameraman and the sound guy in my room. And they're telling me to be quiet because they're having a moment.
Oh,
I'm trying to sleep, bitches.
It was bad. I felt for her because it was like, oh my gosh.
All right.
Yeah, it was a little too real.
In this case, and in this case only, I can somewhat understand the whole kissing problem because your defenses are down and it's not the time for rational thought.
Yeah. Well, and she had just gone through that intimate date with him.
I know. So she was in an extremely vulnerable place. So in that regard, yes, I totally get it.
It was bad.
I totally get it. It was bad. It was bad.
I felt for her.
The whole hater speak all the other heifers were engaging in while Britt was out on the date, that was epic.
And the content, it kind of sort of made me sick a little bit, right? When they were doing the split view of the girls talking about her confessing to them that she's not interested in marriage and family. And then they flash to her laying in Chris's arms talking about, well, how many kids do you want? No, how many kids do you want? Oh my gosh, I totally want as many as we can have. And I mean, I wanted to vomit. I'm like, are you seriously just a big fat liar?
See, here you go. That is why Britt is this season's Andy.
What is happening? I really liked her, and now I just feel like the whole thing is a giant scam.
Well, hello. I don't know if you're going through the same thing, but every time I see Kelsey, I'm really seeing the whole Glenn Close Fatal Attraction face.
Right? It's like you're watching Insane up close.
Yeah,
When she was doing the testimonial about how her story is so awesome.
Oh my God. Do you like my story? It's like, that's why I said, I don't know that Ashley S. was truly the craziest person in the house.
No, she wasn't. After this episode, she wasn't.
She was not.
Kelsey is like, I think my story is awesome. And then crying with Chris and then making out with him. What? And this is about a person that she had joined her life with. And she's acting like it's a giant game. I mean, who does that?
I told you she wasn't ready. When you're on The Bachelor and you start talking about yourself in the third person, trouble.
Right?
Chris comes down to talk to everybody before the cocktail party, and he's like all emotional, and he's getting all, when he mentions a discussion that he had with Kelsey, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I need a minute.
I know, he got all verklempt.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, once again, now that this week, they have to do the whole straight to the rose ceremony. We're not doing the cocktail party. So now Kelsey's like all weird. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm not ready to go home.
She flip-flopped more than a flounder in a hot pan, I'm telling you.
Right? Kelsey has her panic attack, and the words "to be continued" flash across my screen. And I basically say, you know what? I need a friggin' drink.
I was not feeling it. When she was boo-hooing in the hallway on the ground, telling people that she was having a panic attack. First of all, when you're having a panic attack, do you really have the wherewithal to say, I'm having a panic attack? No, you're having a panic attack. Yeah, I felt gypped. And then it's like, I gotta wait a whole nother week for another 2 hours of this craziness. Neil, I need a vacation.
Oh my gosh.
Don't laugh at me. It's not nice.
I'm sorry. I knew I'd get you.
Don't be so smug, man.
I just have to be patient I bide my time. Eventually, they come around.
I still want Chris to find love, though.
If he moves to a place that has women, I don't think that he'd have a problem.
I'm hoping he finds somebody here.
What, on this show?
Caitlin and Whitney. I wouldn't be so sad if it were Whitney.
Even Carly.
Yes.
Like I said, I got my women. Becca, Whitney, Caitlin, Carly, Jade. Becca needs to bring a little bit more to the paint.
I know, we haven't seen much of her.
But the potential's there. Samantha, it's week 5 and I still don't know who this child is.
Right? Is she the one with the dark hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see more of her.
Megan, Mackenzie, Ashley I.
They all need to go.
They need to go. Britt needs to go.
Right? Now that I found out she's a big fat liar. And stanky to boot.
That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at @did_watch_it. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.